Hello, fellow traders. This is TheRumpledOne, coming to you on Monday, July the 1st. The year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Weekly open and gap, monthly open with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. And since it's the beginning of the month, let's just remember our risk management. Never lose more on any one single trade than you are willing to lose. So we'll take a quick look at the monthly. And right now on the British pound, price is 34 pips above the monthly open, 9 pips off the high, and 43 pips off the low. Just went from 44 to 43. On the weekly, you can see we've got a bunch of, it's like all the euro pairs have not filled their gap. So something must have happened with the euro.
Yeah, there was a ton of news this morning on the euro, so that's probably why.
Yeah, so I guess when they opened, they gapped up, and it must have been some good news.
Yeah, there was some. It's kind of mixed, but I think the reason why is that the good news was on the Italian front and the German front, and the bad news was on the Spanish front. So it outweighed.
Yeah. Just one thing to note, traders. Since it is also the monthly open and weekly open are the same right now. So that being said, you can see we're putting in the opening range for the week and the month. And we are within the opening range for the year, and we're 41 pips. Let's see, why does this say 32? And this says 41. Something's off. Got to figure out which one is off. Open for the day. For the year. It's two different indicators, so one of them's doing something different. So looks like we're about 32 pips below the yearly open, and we're 215 off the yearly high and 380 off the yearly low. We had an inside bar on Friday, and we broke out of that inside bar to the upside, and we're up past it by almost 16 pips. We were also in the weekly inside bar range from 14 weeks ago. We also broke out of that. So anybody doing the inside bar trades, you were rewarded. But looking at the dashboard, we only have a handful of pairs, if that, where there's inside bar action. Here, looking at the range chart, we've got 5 pairs over 100 pips in range, with the pound clocking in at 53 pips, putting in another lackluster range, low volatility. Looks like the open was all over the place for the pound, meaning the opening range there, but it didn't really, I don't think anybody trades that first half hour when or first hour when the spread is just ridiculous. But we did get a trigger later in the Asian session, and it looks like, or actually 2 to go long, and price has been staying above that daily weekly open. When I looked at the charts, I think it was yesterday before the market opened, I was thinking this should probably get up to about 127 and then turn around. And we can see that the dollar yen's at 161.29, so I'm still waiting for a nice short there. Rats, the range is large enough So red rats, get ready to feast. They've already feasted twice. Looks like they could have picked up about somewhere close to 10 pips on each one of those reversals. Pivot trading plan, Bambino Flex said to go short, and the pivot trading plan said near the pivot to go long. And the only time we were near the pivot, it looks like, was that first, let's see, is this today's or is this, yeah, that first 4 hours. It looks like it dropped down below the pivot and went up. Then the bias near R1 is short, but it blew right through there. And it went all the way up to R2. So anything above R1, the bias would also be short. We did take out that daily pivot. We've taken out the weekly pivot. And we've so far missed the monthly pivot by about 16 pips. And the monthly pivot is 127.056, so call it 127.06. So, as I was saying, I was looking at the chart saying this should get up to the 127 level and then probably reverse off of that. But we'll just have to see what happens. The upper wick zone from the Friday's daily candle, price has gone through it a couple times, in and out. And notice for the stats for the last 1,000 days. I'm going to double check something real quick. Okay, for the last, I know why. The last 1,000 hours, or is it? No, I guess it really is the last 1,000 days. It gets in, the price likes to close outside the wick zones. At 70% of the time or better. Just something to note. And on the smart ranges for the week, as I said before, 53 pips of range. We have not broken out of the previous week's high or low yet. And we're only 9 pips off the high, 44 off the low. I think that's where we were when we started this video. So price hasn't done much in the past 7-8 minutes. High minus open 43 and open minus low 10. So price is just kind of meandering. So Walmal, you said you've pretty much done for the day, right?
I'm done for the day. I made my core for the day. Made it 3 trades. So can't complain. Relatively easy day in that respect. Again, it comes down to what I've been saying now. I know I'm beating a dead horse here, but it's absolutely the truth here, and that is that right now in this type of trading, pick your trades, pick your edges, pick your trades, take the trades, and don't try to extend them more than you should, and take your money when your money's there. And if you do that, you should be okay. But it's sometimes that's easier said than done. A perfect example of that is last Thursday. I went through this, and it was one of those things where I wound up thinking, exaggeration alert, 1.5 million trades in order to make my goal for the day, whereas every other day last week was 3 or 4 trades, 5 trades sometimes, but every once in a while you're going to get that one day where you just win one, lose one, win one, lose one, win one, lose one, and and it's sort of like eventually you get to the point and say, okay, I got more money than I started out at the beginning of the day. I don't need to play this game anymore. Goodbye. And just walk away. It's sort of like the old gamble song from Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
You gotta know when to hold them and know when to fold them.
So was it last hour when you made your trades?
I made one trade at the very beginning of this hour.
Okay.
and then I had 2 trades last hour.
Yeah, because I'm looking at the H1 candle, it's like it just seems like it was just saying short me, right?
Exactly. Exactly right. So, but you do what you got to do, right?
Yeah.
And, and the thing is, again, I know I'm being a dead horse here, but pick your trades. In other words, look for those places where there are edges. Goodness, I started calling this a couple of weeks ago an opportunity zone. Sort of like some people call it support and resistance. I've decided to call it an opportunity zone because that's where opportunity rests. And you sit there and you wait for it to get into those areas, wait for it to set up, wait for your method to go and fully develop, take your trade, and get out before the market takes us back. And, we're not having these days like we used to have where you go into those opportunity zones and it breaks through it, and the next thing you know, you can ride it for 50 pips. And I've had days like that when you could literally ride it for 30, 40, 50 pips. But you can't do that nowadays. It just, it just doesn't seem to work, just because, we got a daily range day of only 53 pips. And that's a big range as of late, but at the same time, you still can make money. And the reason why you can make money is because there's still travel. There's still, what I mean by travel is the market's still going up, the market's still going down, and it will travel. It's just that instead of traveling 10 or 15 pips. If you remember, TRO, when I first started doing videos with you, probably 3 years ago, I guess it's been now, they were, I picked the pound dollar because every hour during those golden hours, I called them, you knew you were going to get a travel of at least, not a travel, but just a range of 35 pips for the hour. And now you don't get that. But what you're going to get is you potentially can get a travel of 35 pips. And what I mean by travel is you measure the distance, you go in a particular direction, and then I don't go and add in the direction, the amount of travel that you get or the amount that the market moves in the other direction, but when it goes and continues back in the direction that you were going in, you measure that. So if it goes up, let's say it goes up 3 pips and then down 2 pips, and then up 3 pips, you've now had a travel of 6 pips, and so because of that, that means what you got to do is you go in with your first trade, you enter your trade, take your trade. Okay, if it goes against you 2 pips and you get a setup to go and go up again, you go and enter a second trade. So now the first, let's say it goes up from that point, let's say it goes up 5 pips from that point. Well, the first trade, you're now up 6, 7 pips, and the second trade, you're up 4 or 5 pips. And that's how you can go and make your money. And maybe I can write up a chart or something, or draw on a chart something that demonstrates that better than I can go and say it with words. But the point is, you can take advantage of travel in the market within the hour.
Yeah. And just one thing to clarify, you keep using the word edge, and I think you're using it differently than what most traders use it. So,
I don't mean, when I say edge, I don't mean a statistical edge. I don't mean that you got an advantage. I mean you're at the edge of a support or resistance zone, or what I just went and called an opportunity zone. Just an area where for whatever reason in the past the market's done things in that area, and that's what I'm calling an edge. You're getting into that area where it breaks through that area, either to extend in a particular direction or do a reversal out of that particular area. But if you notice what the market does, it travels into an area, and then it goes and, goes sideways for a while. Some people call it a consolidation zone, but that's an opportunity because it's going to break out of there. You may not necessarily know which way it's going to go, but you do know it's going to break out of there. So what do? You use your other tools that you have in your toolbox. Mainly, what is your method? Okay, you're doing 3-bar reversals, do a 3-bar reversal out of there. You're going and doing, a flip-flop box, use that.
And you know what, Walmal? The fastest 15 minutes in trading is just about over. So, fellow traders, once again, it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One.